So for the past couple of weeks, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I've been neglecting my plants a little bit more than I'm used to. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do all of my chores today. I'm gonna get it done. It's a Saturday, I'm up early, I've got the energy, let's just get it done. I've got to clean the house, essentially. I've also got some propagations to do as well. And I've got a video to film today. So I'm gonna do all of that today. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take, but come along for the ride and we'll see where we end up. By the way, I'm Lithius and welcome to Roots Ready. I've already identified the plants that I want to propagate today. And to be honest with you, it's gonna be mainly some Hoya. I've got a couple that are looking a little bit on the edge. You'll see that a bit later. So I'm going to try to sort that out and propagate the parts of the plant that look really, really well. And I've just got some that are just massive and they need taming a little bit. But before we do that, let's get cleaning. If I bring it down into the forbidden plant space, you can see all of these planty things. Some of these are from like 2 weeks ago and I haven't even cleaned it up. So I'm going to try to sort all of that today. I've got some pon here. There might be some alocasia corms in here actually. So I'm gonna have to clean those. When I say clean it, I mean just boil it for a little bit or pour some hot water over it just so that it's nice and clean so I can reuse it. And I'm just gonna do some maintenance on my plants because I've been neglecting them, as I said. So first things first, let's get this area cleaned up. There we go. You gotta love those pillows. Right, so house is clean now. That took a little bit longer than I expected. But now the next thing to do is to sort out this pon. Now this had my alocasia dragon scale in it and all of the leaves fell off. I am gonna try to save some of the corms in here. This was the alocasia black velvet. And in fact, this was the only leaf that was left that actually survived. So I've put it in some water, as you can see here, and hopefully that does well. And I can repot it once it's got some really, really good roots. But for now, just leave it here next to my east facing window. Got another pot of some pon. There's some lecker in here as well. Can't quite remember what was in this. I've done so many repots in the past couple of weeks. So this is the alocasia black velvet pot. Let's see what comes out of it. The alocasia dragon scale. I think this is a corm. We'll see if we can get anything to grow out of that. And finally, can't quite remember what was in this. I think it might have been an orchid of some sort. So after all of that, these are the corms that we managed to get. These three are from the alocasia black velvet and these are from the dragon scale. So we'll try to grow these out and see how we get on. To clean my semi-hydro mix, I simply just pour in some boiling hot water. This is fresh out of the kettle. I don't add anything else. And I just make sure that all the pon, all the lecker is submerged. And I just leave it. That hot water will kill anything that you don't want in here. I find that with pon you don't have too many pests anyway, apart from maybe some springtails. But this is just a quick and easy way that when you're reusing your pon, that you don't transfer anything that you don't want to over into your new substrate. Probably one of the biggest tasks I'm going to do today is repotting. I've got this Hoya CV Jennifer over here. As you can see, the bottom leaves are starting to yellow, so at the risk of losing this entire plant, I'm actually going to propagate all of it. So everything above the last yellowing leaf, I'm going to propagate that and hopefully we can save this plant. I'm honestly on the verge of moving all of my plants from pon into soil just because of that winter transition tends to be really tough on them. And I've got some other plants, some beautiful cuttings that I've made of various plants. I think we've got, for example, we've got the Velosa here, we've got one of the just other plants. I've got a little bit of soil here, but I'm definitely going to need some more, so we'll get that going and get these plants potted up. This is just a mixture of I think there's some sand, there's some Coca-Cola and some lecker and whatnot. So I'm just gonna add in some more Coca-Cola. It gets very, very dusty. We'll just get this a little bit moist. The reason I've done that is just to get rid of that floating dust, because honestly, it gets everywhere. start sneezing and you don't want to see that. I'll be using this as my container, and I just want to add in just a layer of substrate, just enough to bury everything. So I'm going to start to just take this one apart. This is the Hoya CV Jennifer. This is the cut before the leaf that's yellowing. So this is the last leaf that shows sign of yellowing. So we'll just get rid of those ones. These are all of the cuttings from the CV Jennifer. And what we're going to do is just going to trim these down to size. So now we have a couple of cuttings and we can start to pot these up. Right, so I've had to just do a quick change just because some of these may not all fit in here. So in order to do that, we're just going to make this one just for the Hoya CV Jennifer. We're going to just put the bigger ones in first, just to make sure that we do have enough space. And then we have this very awkwardly shaped leaf here, which makes it really hard to sort of get it down into the substrate. So I think I'll do something separate with this one. And then wherever I have some space, I'm gonna try to plant some of these other ones. Now I've got two here that I couldn't quite get into the pot, so I will plant these separately, maybe in individual pots, but I'll just put these on the side for now. So not too bad, we got quite a few in here, and I'm just gonna go through and just mist this down. I don't want it to be too wet, just wet enough to encourage those roots to grow. There we go, all of them are potted up, looking good. I'm gonna put this lid over, it's a clear lid as well, so you should get good access to light. And that way all of the plants can maintain their high level of humidity and start rooting. I'm going to put this in front of a window. I believe this is a Hoya macrophylla that I potted up a long time ago. You can see it's got some really great roots to it, so that one will get its own pot today. And then I've got two villosas, and then finally we've got one last Hoya CV Jennifer. We'll get that potted up also. I've got my pot ready, and then we just backfill that. Put this in here like so, maybe on its side. This was a very awkward one to get in place. So what I've done is I've used the cable tie, secured the plant to it like so, and then I can start to sort of just backfill that slightly. So hopefully that will hold in place until it roots, and that should be enough support until then. The last two should be a bit more straightforward. These are the villosa cuttings. We're just gonna backfill that like so. And the same for this one, and backfill. With that done, we're just gonna water these in good and proper. So the last bit of repotting for today is this Hoya finlaysonii. It's been in this pot propagated for a very long time, and I think finally it's time to take it out. So look at that, looking amazing. Look at that, so very well rooted indeed. So I've got my pot, and we're just gonna as always add a little layer, put this in, and just start to backfill that bad boy like so. This is currently living in my grow tent behind me, or my makeshift grow tent, and I think I'm gonna finally move it to outside on the Hoya shelf, because it looks so great and I want it to join its brothers and sisters. What I need to invest in 2024 is a really good solid workstation where I can just make a mess, because at the moment it doesn't take much for this soil to go onto the floor. So I just know it's gonna happen, and what I do is I just let it fall, and I'll just go through afterwards, hoover. But it's not really sustainable. It doesn't make it easy for me to just start to repot these plants. I sort of just leave them, and when I should have already have repotted these things, I procrastinate, because I'm just like, oh, I've got to get this table and everything like that. If I had a proper setup, like a whole space, a greenhouse or something like that, oh, I'll be in heaven. You know, you can make a mess to your heart's content. So those were some quick chores that I had to get done. It's been playing in my mind for a long time, and I'm so happy that I was able to get these plants potted, because I only noticed this week that this Hoya CV Jennifer wasn't looking great. So I'm glad I was able to get on top of that and sort it out. I'll keep you guys posted on how they get through. I think the best thing to do would be to stick them on a heat mat, give them some good light, keep them nice and warm and humid, and they would do just fine. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any heat mats available, so I'm gonna do my best to keep them somewhere warm and bright, and hopefully this coming spring all of these plants will be okay and ready to hit the road running. But that's it for today. A very quick chore. I'm afraid I sort of just woke up this morning, I had a plan. I was like, you know what, there's a lot more that I need to do. So I thought, you know what, I'll take you guys along for the journey with me. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep planting.